Tensions were already high, but the Israeli strikes on Beit Yahun lit the fuse. It was a time of simmering unrest and escalating conflict. Israel and Hezbollah, the Shiite Islamist political party and militant group based in Lebanon, were in the throes of a tense standoff. The atmosphere was thick with uncertainty, each side wary of the other's next move. The situation took a drastic turn when Israeli forces struck Beit Yahun, a town in southern Lebanon. This aggressive action resulted in the tragic loss of 5 Hezbollah fighters. The deaths of these fighters were a severe blow to Hezbollah, stoking the embers of their fury and setting the stage for a powerful retaliation. This event marked a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict between these two formidable forces. The Israeli strikes were not merely an attack on a single location, but a provocation that ignited the wrath of Hezbollah. It was a spark that set off a powder keg of pent-up tensions and long-standing grievances. The strikes on Beit Yahun were a spark in a powder keg, setting off a chain of events that would rock the region. It was the unsettling calm before the storm, the moment of eerie silence before the ensuing chaos. The stage was set, the players were in position, and the world could only wait with bated breath for the next act in this ongoing drama. In retaliation for the strikes on Beit Yahun, Hezbollah launched a barrage of rockets towards northern Israel. As tensions mounted, the militant group Hezbollah flexed its might, firing 50 rockets that rained down on the northern regions of Israel. This was not just a response, it was a calculated move to send a clear message. The rockets, launched in broad daylight, traced a fiery arc across the sky, each one a deadly echo of the 5 lives lost in Beit Yahun. They targeted populated areas, military installations, and key infrastructure, an audacious display of Hezbollah's reach and capability. The immediate impact of the attacks was palpable, with sirens wailing and people scrambling for cover as the rockets exploded one after the other. This marked a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. Until now, skirmishes had been sporadic, often confined to the volatile border regions. But this was different. This was a direct assault on Israeli soil, an act of aggression that threatened to plunge the region into full-scale war. What's significant is that Hezbollah was not just retaliating against the Israeli strikes. They were also expressing their anger over Israel's continued attacks on Gaza, even after a ceasefire had been agreed upon. This was not just about Beit Yahun or even Lebanon. It was about standing up to a perceived injustice, about refusing to be silenced in the face of aggression. But perhaps most importantly, these rocket attacks were a statement. They were a show of power by Hezbollah, a demonstration of their resolve and their capabilities. In the face of their adversaries' superior military might, they were saying, "We are not afraid, we will not be cowed, we will fight back." The rocket attacks were not just a response, they were a statement, a show of power by Hezbollah. Despite a ceasefire truce, the Israeli army intensified its attacks on Gaza. In a world where peace is often precarious, the continued Israeli aggression on Gaza, even in the face of a ceasefire agreement, is a stark reminder of this reality. What could be the reasons for such relentless pursuit, one might wonder? Experts suggest a myriad of factors, a show of strength, a strategic move, or an attempt to apply pressure on Hamas. Regardless, the result is a disturbing escalation of violence, a blatant disregard for the ceasefire, and a strained relationship between the involved parties. This unyielding aggression has far-reaching implications. It not only undermines the ceasefire agreement, but also fuels a cycle of retaliation. The possibility of a lasting peace grows increasingly dim with each attack, as the trust necessary for negotiations is eroded. Moreover, the humanitarian cost of this continued aggression is immense. Lives are lost, infrastructure is destroyed, and the people of Gaza are left to bear the brunt of the conflict. The continued attacks on Gaza have raised questions about the viability of the ceasefire and the future of peace in the region. The recent events in the Israel-Lebanon conflict have far-reaching implications. This isn't just a localized dispute. The words of Hezbollah leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah ring in our ears as a stark reminder. Any aggression against Jerusalem or its holy sites could potentially lead to a regional war. The flames of this conflict, if not doused quickly and effectively, might spread across borders, engulfing other nations in its wake. And let's not forget about the recent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. This new surge of violence casts a long, ominous shadow over that fragile peace. It's as if the ink hadn't even dried on the truce before the first rockets were launched. This raises a critical question. Can there be lasting peace in the region when the fires of conflict are so easily reignited? Finally, we must consider the impact on Lebanon's already fragile political situation. The current conflict not only threatens to destabilize the region, but also risks deepening the political and sectarian divides within Lebanon itself. The nation's unity is at stake, and the actions of Hezbollah could very well tip the balance, for better or worse. As the dust settles, the world watches with bated breath, wondering what the future holds for the Israel-Lebanon conflict.